Tessa, how are you?
Hey Jess, how's it going? It's pretty hot here.
Yeah, it is. It's really hot here. We had a little break and now the heat is definitely back.
Yeah, what a trick that was. Not very fun. It was not nice, Mother Nature. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, I'm somewhere where the temperature goes whoop, up and down, up and down. So I'm sure you experience just about the same. So
I know. Mother Nature and I have words every single month about it.
So how's your flock doing in the heat?
They're okay. I've taken some steps to make sure that they're doing all right, but even this morning when it was just starting to creep up, they look hot. There's definitely some stuff I need to do throughout the day to make them comfortable.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about some of those tips on how we keep our flock cool and healthy during the summer. So the first tip is hydration, right? Just like us, we need water. Our flock needs water. So hydration is everything. So I know you and I both do the same thing. We fill our waterers multiple times during the day and make sure to refresh the water because it does heat up pretty quickly. Our waterers are kept in the shade, but you know, it's 90 degrees outside. That water heats up pretty quick. So
oh yeah, doesn't matter even in the shade, but that is a good tip, having the waterers in the shade or even their feet in the shade too. Just so that they can kind of hit both at the same time.
Absolutely. And sometimes I'll put ice cubes in the water, especially on the super hot days, just to keep the water a little bit cooler longer. And the birds love that nice cool treat. And sometimes I'll put an extra water out as well that has some electrolytes in it, just to give them a boost. Like I said, just like us, when we need that little bit of water and those electrolytes, our flock needs it as well.
Yeah, maybe some sports drinks for the chicken.
Yeah, a little chicken Gatorade. Yeah,
that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah,
I wonder if they can have that. Yeah, there's so many things. Or I've seen people even freeze stuff in the ice cubes to get them to try to go in there, like adding something like a black sunflower seed in to where they're pecking at it, they're getting that hydration, but they're also getting a treat. So that's great. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we have been definitely looking at where our coop is as opposed to like how the sun affects it, because each summer seems to be getting hotter. So when we're planning for the future, that's got to be something that we make sure we're using the environment to help us too. So I'm super thankful that our coop is already in the shade, building it like on the edge of the woods there, so that for most of the day, I let nature take care of it. But for like the meat birds and things like that who are in a tractor or the baby pen and all that, they're kind of in the sun. So I've been going around with sheets and I hope that they enjoy Pokemon as their cover for the summer this year. But yeah, adding those sheets on top of the pens or on top of our netting that we have up because of the avian influenza. Oh my gosh, that's been amazing, giving them extra shade. And I put a fan in there, which is something I swore I would never do, but I did it. I have to. My babies need it. And I have a bunch of broodies right now. And I don't want them to be uncomfortable. And I don't want them to abandon an egg because it gets too hot. So I know that I've seen some people have them that are built in. Have you ever seen that? Like, oh, yeah, that is a dream. That is a dream. That maybe someday I'll have a coop with the built-in fan and the Yeti coolers with to keep the chickens cool. But for right now, they get a box fan. Yeah, and they're doing okay.
Yeah. So I have a lot of fans too, little fans that we put in ours. My flock's a lot like yours, and I have a lot of broodies because of those silkies I have. And they all decided to wait till it got like 95 degrees and want to be broody.
What is that? Like,
I have no idea.
I'm sorry, but like the last possible time I would want to be having a child is in the heat of the summer. I don't know what's wrong with those silkies. It's like I don't know.
They're heat of the summer
wild birds
and dead of the winter. That's
right. Yes.
That's when
I would love to have a frozen child.
Goodness. I've also seen people put those like misting fans in their coops as well, or those little sprinkler kind of systems in their coop and in their run to give their birds a quick cool off. So
yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. I wonder too if you could do that just with like a couple of times a day, turning it on your hose to a mist.
Yeah.
Or even in like my coop where I've got the box fan, maybe set it up with something that could automatically go, just to give them a little cool off on those feathers. I didn't even think about that, especially our black feathered friends, because they're taking the brunt of the heat.
Right, exactly. I know we do that with our ducks. We will turn the mister, we have like a sprinkler end for the hose that does like the misting, and we'll do that for the ducks for sure. And that sometimes we give it to the chickens, but it's just anything to help them stay cool. So another tip, we're talking about using the hose and so forth, is especially when it's really hot during the day, we'll go out periodically and actually like spray the roof of the coop off. And it just kind of helps to cool, because our coop has black shingles on it. So just spraying it down. I even give the omelet a spray on top, even though it has really good, ventilation, just helping to cool it down just a little bit.
Yeah, there's only so many things that those little windows can do for ventilation. Right. And almost all of those prefabricated coops have those like tar black shingles. That's a great idea.
Absolutely. And speaking of our coops, it's important to keep our coops super clean during the summertime. It's always important to have a clean coop, but you want to make sure, we're talking about adding a little water and our misters in there, but you don't want to like soak down your coop. Because moisture is not good in the coop, so you want your coop to still be very dry and have lots of really good ventilation in there. That those fans are going to help with the ventilation, but naturally your coop should have really good ventilation as well. And keeping your coop well ventilated and dry is going to cut down on those odors. You definitely notice sometimes that you have chickens in the dead of the summertime when the heat's really, bearing down on the coop. Sometimes you can smell a few things. So
catch a breeze.
So, just even hanging some herbs in your coop are really helpful to kind of help with all of that. So keep your coop clean, and you can add a little natural deodorizers out there as well.
Yeah. But those have a dual purpose too, because those herbs can also help with pests, which is where like this summer, I must say this every year, but I feel like there has been a fly boom out at my coop this summer. And, I'm going to be honest, I'm paranoid about something like fly strike. Right. When you start to get a larger flock and you're not maintaining every bird every single day, those simple husbandry things are going to be the difference between having a healthy flock and not. So, you're right. Keeping it dry and ventilated is important. I've been using some of the odor eliminating spray like that to take down that ammonia smell. Yeah. And I got it from the hatchery. It's got like this almost marigold scent to it. And that's really nice because it's all natural and it's a great way to keep the flies away. All of my feeders I had to clean recently too, because I noticed I have a chicknick table as like their main buffet, and some of the younger babies who are small are jumping up on top, and so they're having a poo on the tray. Right. So making sure to keep that clean is keeping flies away, which is good too. But I will say the dryness has been great because of dust baths. They've made their own. We have now like the dust bath tree, and just having access to that with shade over top. Yeah. I haven't, knock on wood, clunk, clunk, I haven't had any mite problems this year, which this is the time of year when it hits me sometimes, being so close to the woods. Yeah. So, and it also works out because with our bonfires, we've got wood ash, so I'm throwing that in there too. And that's great for keeping them clean. And even when they eat it, so don't be afraid. Have you ever done that where they eat the wood ash and then you're like, what is this? Oh, they've eaten tar. Yeah. So, I totally get that about about keeping it dry and clean. Right. Because those flies, they can cause wreak havoc. Yeah. So much. Okay.
So another thing that you can do, and I've actually tried this and it really works, is pick up some of those car air fresheners that are vanilla, or you can make your own air freshener using vanilla essential oils and hang it in your coop. It keeps the flies away. I didn't believe it at first, but I can tell you it definitely works. We put about 3 or 4 in the coop, and
Okay.
It's really awesome. Works really good.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe like take a little and put it on some cardboard. Would that be the same effect? Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Hey,
Another thing you can do is if you have the vanilla like essential oil, or you can use like culinary grade vanilla, but doesn't last as long. But you can actually put drops of it onto a wood clothespin and just, you know, put it all over there and then clip it throughout your coop. And it helps to have that wonderful vanilla scent and keeps the smells and the flies at bay. So it works out really nicely. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I might give that a try.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of vanilla, because now it's making me hungry, because vanilla makes me think of like baked goods and treats. During the summertime, especially when it's really hot, I always pamper my flock. I know Tessa does too. But I like to make sure to give the flock extra treats that are going to help keep them cool. So we talked about the ice cubes with, you know, putting the seed in the middle. I like to put blueberries in the middle of the ice cubes, strawberries, really anything that's in season I can get around. I'm doing a lot of strawberry canning right now, so I have a lot of strawberry tops that'll go into the ice cubes. And the birds love it. They love pecking at those ice cubes and trying to get to those treats that are inside of there. And I've even done like a big block of ice and put a bunch of stuff in there, and it just keeps them busy for hours. Great boredom buster in the shade, and they love that cool treat. And yeah, another thing, you know, we have a lot of picnics right now, so if I have some extra watermelon, I'll give them that. The ducks love the watermelon too. It's absolutely hilarious to watch because they just fling watermelon everywhere.
I can imagine it now. It must be a total mess.
Oh, it is so much fun, but they love it. They really love it. And the other thing that I do is I have lots of mint growing around the coop. And so I'll just float some mint in the water, and it's that cool, refreshing treat for our birds. They love it.
That's a good idea. I have some like old roasting pans that I've gotten from like a secondhand store. And I use those for watering in the summer because you can really tell if your flock needs those kind of boosts throughout the day just by watching them. So if I go out there and I see that I've got like she looks like a bodybuilder because her arms are out to the side like that. There's a reason. It's not because Belle's coming after me today. It's because she's hot. She's trying to get some of that air out and circulate under her wings, or if you'll see them out there just like like a dog. I mean, that's when I take some of those roasting pans, I'll fill them with the ice cubes, fill them with that, because they can even step in. For the chickens, it's okay if they can step in. You know, just like us, you know, taking your shoes off at the end of the hot day. Imagine being able to step in something like that. It takes the whole body temperature down. So if you're monitoring, especially around like noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, even when the heat has peaked and it's stagnant. Oh my gosh, I went out the other day and Charlie, her comb was so pale, and she had gotten up in the roost. I think she thought that maybe, you know, in the shade of the coop with the fan running, but the higher up she went on the roost, the warmer it got because heat rises. So I brought her down by the fan and offered her some cold water down there, and within like an hour she had bounced back. So you just have to watch for those little ones that might stagger off, and maybe they don't know how to take care of themselves yet. We've got so many things we can do to help keep them comfortable. So those are some great tips.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for having me today. This was so cool.
Yeah.
I loved spending this time with you.
Absolutely.
And for everybody out there, I hope that these tips help everybody with their flocks. I know I'll be headed out there today. Got my own self-care with this portable air conditioner here. Gonna try my best not to bring any chickens inside. Well, that's awesome. So if anybody ever has any like things that you want to discuss in chicken chat, it would be cool to leave us a comment and let us know, because Jess and I love to chat about chickens.
Yes, we do.
So
Chicken math
for
is
watching,
real
everybody.
for us.
Yes, it's so true. Chicken math is all. Chicken math is life. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. This was amazing.
Bye, everybody.